Ourselves first.
Sure. Go ahead.
I'm Christian Schultz, singer, little keys, little harp, little this, little that. That's about it.
Michael Archbold, mainly guitar, but yeah, just a little bit of everything.
Brian Bankson, bass.
John Tingley, drums, percussion.
And you're Rosemary Gates.
Yes, yeah.
Welcome and thanks for playing today at Wood Nickel.
Thank you.
Could one of you guys explain to me a little bit about the beginnings of the group? I know it's been around for quite a few years.
Yeah, originally started out pretty much in college, when I was in college at Purdue, and was high school friends with a friend of mine, Jim Stocks, who went to Ball State, and his friend Jason Sheets. Us three started out just kind of playing around here and there, and they had written some lyrics and put some tunes together, and I kind of followed through with that and added things together. So it was three originally, and it was just acoustic, and we did that for a couple of years actually, and then made our way into Cincinnati to do a short demo disc that we had done. Actually, it was a tape.
Yes, back then.
Yeah, way back then.
Yes.
And brought that back to Fort Wayne with us, and it landed us a few gigs around town, and kind of started from there. And we thought we'd build on that and get a bass and drums and really make it a full deal.
So you said you started out as acoustic, and then you've kind of gone more into the rock area.
Yes.
Right? So moved up the volume a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely.
but you know, acoustic though has always been kind of at the heart of what we do. I think we were chatting a little bit earlier. You know, when we sit down to write, it's usually we pull out the acoustics and sit down and I mean, so it's always at the heart of what we do. You know, if it sounds good on the acoustic guitar, then you can add all the other stuff and it's going to sound, you know, fantastic. So I mean, if you can make it sound good on the acoustic, then so yeah, you're right. We kind of built on that, but you know, and even though we do mainly the rock thing now, you know, we're scaling it back and doing, you know, the occasional acoustic gig is a treat for all of us. Yeah, I mean, it really, the acoustic shows are where we feel, I think, most like musicians. So
Speaking of acoustic, actually we're working on in between our actual third full-length album, we're doing an acoustic album.
Oh, really?
Right
Good.
now.
Good.
When we're going to pretty much kind of reinterpret a couple of the songs off the first two albums, and then some new stuff in there, some old stuff, but it's going to be a basically acoustic album.
Is that something you're working on for the next year, maybe?
yeah,
maybe
what the original plan was, we've got two prior releases. Myth and Judgment, of course, was released in December of '06. And we were in the middle of writing this third full-length album, and Christian's always been pushing for a while that, you know, we need to go back to the roots and do an acoustic album. And you know, the more we were getting into this third album, when we were writing so much stuff, we were like, well, let's just, you know, it's going to take longer than a year. We wanted to do a release this year, so we're like, well, let's go back and do the acoustic album so we can have a release this year, and then, you know, put the new, you know, the full-length album out next year. So that's kind of what the plan is right now.
Getting back to Myth and Judgment, that came out a year or so ago. That won the Whammy for Best Rock Release of the Year. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And do you want to tell me a little bit about that, how it was put together, or did you guys?
Myth and Judgment.
Many hours.
Yeah.
It started in actually, what, 2001?
Yeah, actually, how
summer of 2001 was when we
how
started.
it all
You
happened.
guys are trying to be kind of like Steely Dan or Fleetwood Mac or something like that, you know?
Well,
You'll serve no album before it's time. Kind of ages like fine wine, right?
Right.
What happened was back in 2000 we released our first full-length album, Shine, and we were right after that we were already writing new music and getting ready to go back into the studio. Then in the winter of 2000-2001, our single Free hit the radio and it just exploded. So, you know, we were kind of caught because we had went in and did some basic tracks for the new disc, but then the one that we had just put out was doing so well, like, well, we got to go on tour and support.
Promotion.
And actually 2001 we did like 75 shows, and we had all kinds of label attention and all kinds of neat things happening that time. So we kind of put, you know, Myth and Judgment on the back burner for a while, and then we had a drummer leave, and then you know, a couple of, well, some disappointments happened in 2001 with some of the labels and stuff like that.
And 9/11.
And yeah,
9/11 changed
that affected everybody.
Kind of affected a lot of things.
Holding that as an excuse.
No, it's not. It's definitely not. But I mean, it was a factor. It was a
It
factor.
affected
So
Jettingham at the time, I remember that.
absolutely.
Their album came out on
9/11.
That was the release date.
Yeah, I
And,
won't forget that too.
Yeah, it was unbelievable. So, you know, these things kind of impacted us, and we kind of, in 2002, I actually left the band, and actually you guys only did a handful of gigs that year.
Yeah, I kind of spin off and did a little acoustic project for a while, and then we all kind of regained.
In 2003, we kind of got back together and started playing some gigs again, and then, you know, at that point we were like, kind of us three kind of got together and we're like, you know, we got this album on the back burner, should we go back and finish this? And at that point, that was kind of a turning point for the band.
The drummer and the guitar player at the time, they were like, why go and do this? What's the point?
Right.
But
So
we
basically,
really wanted to put something out.
at that time we were a 5-piece band, and you know, we got this idea to finish this album, and that kind of split the band in two. In 2005, you know, our drummer and guitar player said, no, we're not interested, and then the three of us said, well, we are. So the funny thing, we just kind of went back to that 3-piece, and then we kind of splintered off, and we formed our own record label, and in 2004, I started buying a bunch of studio equipment too, and we decided at that time that, you know, it was so expensive to produce that first album that this time around we were going to do it with, you know, our own equipment and do our own thing, and take our time, and then we did. We just basically went up in Christian's attic
Every Friday with a bottle of
for a
tequila
year,
and-
yeah, with a bottle of tequila and a keyboard and a guitar, and just went to town. And
It's no lie, really. It's the
so
way it
yeah,
was.
literally the disc took what, 5 years?
Yeah.
So.
A lot of
The next
tequila,
one won't
lot
take
of-
It's good
that
that
long.
it's good that it's winning awards. That's,
Yeah.
that's worth the effort then. Let's flash ahead now to the video that was just done. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah, absolutely. We've wanted for a long time to get into the medium of video, but we're the kind of band that we've always, and I think we have a reputation that, you know, we don't half things. You know, we don't go, you know, part way. You know, we do it all the way, and you know, we've always, you know, gotten a lot of compliments on our albums and stuff because they're very highly produced, and, you know, we take the time with them and spend the money. And, you know, when we were talking about doing videos, we didn't want to do that either. You know, a lot of people, it's so easy to put a video on the internet anymore. You know, people go to YouTube and, you know, you stick a stationary cam at a gig, and, you know, and you put that up and that's your video. And you know, we were just like, you know, we felt like that if we were going to get into the video medium, that, you know, it had to be something that we would want to sit down and watch ourselves. You know, that it has to live up to that kind of quality. And a buddy and I, Corey Wilson and myself, put together a video or a digital production company recently. We invested in one, and we decided, well, you know, what better way to start than, you know, let's go to Rosemary Gates. And
It's called
Arson Digital is the name of our production company, and you know, we decided, you know, let's put some videos together. And actually, we have Myth and Judgment itself is a loose-based concept album. We kind of sat down and kind of created a storyline for the album, and B and I always thought it'd be really neat to put together a video release of the album.
video album.
Right.
Every
So-
song
Every
represented.
track?
Yeah.
Every track.
That's
So
ambitious.
yeah, very ambitious,
Yeah, that's
especially for a, you know,
3
local
projects
band.
now we're on.
Yeah, we still got on the third full length
Right.
DVD release.
So then we're taking it one step at a time. The video that we released for our first single, Broken Waves, is just pretty much a performance video. You can find it on YouTube now. It's on our website, rosemarygates.com, and myspace.com/rosemarygates. But that's kind of a first step. What we want to do is go back to these performance videos and splice in some of the storylines and stuff. We've got, you know, we're looking at some actors to bring in, and you know, kind of, you know, put together some story footage and that type of thing.
Yeah, I didn't
So-
make the cut, so I won't be acting.
We tried the other night, it just wasn't happening.
So yeah, it is ambitious, but you know what? This is what we do. This is what we enjoy doing, and
And we're doing it for ourselves. It's
Yeah.
not like, you know.
yeah, absolutely. I mean, you can't. I mean, this kind of thing. We've been together for 12 years now. I mean,
Definitely not doing it for the money. There's.
yeah, absolutely. And
I've heard that story before.
when you're in it as long as we are, you always have to go back to, you know, why are you doing it? You know, are you doing it just for the money, or are you doing it for the acclaim and the fame, and, you know, being in the inner circles and local music scenes and all that stuff? And we're not. We always go back to the fact that this is for us first, and then if other people like it, man, that's icing on the
If
cake.
you don't like it, that's fine. Too.
Right.
As long as we dig it.
So, you know, yeah, I want to do this stuff so that, you know, I can, you know, on a Friday night, you know, pop in the video and take a look at it, you know, and
Yeah.
to this day I enjoy popping in our own music and listening to it. You know, it always amazed me, you know, when I hear bands say that, oh, well, I can't listen to that disc that we did 5 years ago. You know, I'm like, why did you do it then?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you know, you pour yourself into that, you know, kind of creative project. I don't know how you would think that, but so yeah, that's kind of how we've gotten into the video medium. And, you know, whether this big project comes to fruition or not is still, you know, up for grabs. But we're, you know, we're moving forward with it, and we're, you know, we're going that route.
It'll happen. Just be
And
time.
if we don't do the full-length video album per se, we still want to do some kind of a documentary type DVD with performance footage in it, and do something like this where we'll sit down and tell the whole story, maybe a little bit in detail, have
Yeah, sounds
you know,
good.
old footage of us playing.
You know, there's,
pictures.
to be honest with you, I mean, there's, Rosemary Gates is one of only a handful of bands in Fort Wayne anymore that are still around,
Yeah.
you know, from our era. You know, I can only think of a handful, you know, like Sonny and
Whalehounds.
Whalehounds and
Still
stuff,
around.
you know, that are kind of came from that same era. And, you know, bands are here and gone. So, you know, we think it's important to tell our story. You know, bands don't last as long for no reason,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
And so yeah, we want to chronicle that and get some, you know, get the story out, and that people, you know, whether they're interested or not, you know, like I said, we're doing it for us first. It's just kind of, you know, exercise our own, you know, demons and whatnot.
Show our kids
so.
and grandkids. This is
Seriously,
what we used to look like, and this is what we used to
leave
sound
our
like.
leave our footprint, I guess.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, sounds good. Well, thanks
Right.
again for playing, guys. I appreciate it.
Thanks for
Absolutely.
having us.
Thanks for
Thank you.
having us.